Good morning, everybody. I'm going to try to squeeze in this biography. It's of Paul Cezanne. I don't know how to say the last name. Cezanne. So for the rest of this I'm going to read, it'll be Paul C. Okay? Art and Beauty is the title of this biography. The paintings of French artist Paul C., born in 1839 and died in 1906, are widely considered one of the most important transitional bodies of work in the history of art. Inspired by Impressionist artists such as Manet, M-A-N-E-T, and Pissarro, P-I-S-S-A-R-R-O, as well as Romantics who influenced them, C. transformed and at times even scandalized the art community with a daring style that laid the foundations for the radically different art of the 20th century, particularly the Cubist, C-U-B-I-S-T, movement characterized by artists such as Matisse, M-A-T-I-S-S-E, and Picasso, both of whom are said to have remarked that C is the father of us all. C's short, repetitive, and lively brushstrokes, broad swaths of color, simplicity of form, and experimentation with perspective were all crucial forerunners to the rise of abstract art. As the son of a banker, C enjoyed a financial security that few artists share. As a child, C studied drawing at a local boarding school under the tutelage of Joseph Gibert, G-I-B-E-R-T, a Spanish monk. When C's father insisted that he put aside his artistic pursuits and enroll as a law student, C simultaneously attended law school and continued to receive drawing lessons. But when the young artist finally persuaded his father to allow him to move to Paris to study art full-time, his application to the prestigious ECOLE DES BEAUX arts was rejected. Wrestling with self-doubt, C returned home to work for his father, an arrangement that soon proved miserable. He spent the next decade torn between his personal aspirations and his practical duties. The art he produced during this time, often featuring chilling... He spent the next day torn between his personal aspirations and his practical duties. The art he produced during this time, often featuring chilling subjects and clumsy execution, brought C far more ridicule than applause. No one, the artist included, could see the genius that would later emerge. In the 1870s, C turned from what is called the dark period to capture images of nature in bright colors. In Paris, he exhibited with other artists who had been snubbed by leading galleries, but his paintings still attracted hilarity, H-I-L-A-R-I-T, meaning outrage, and scathing reviews. The artist eventually left the Parisian art community to work alone back in AIX, and for nearly 20 years did not exhibit publicly. C was further wounded by the publication of the novel L'Oeuvre by his longtime friend Emile Zola. The story's protagonist, a brilliant but misunderstood painter, was seen by C as a representation of himself, and he took the book as condemnation of his own career. The two never spoke again. Starting in the mid-1890s, friends including the artists Monet and Renoir drew C out of his isolation, and his work began to find acceptance with the public. But in the fall of 1906, C was caught in a sudden storm. He continued working for 2 hours and collapsed unconscious on his way home. He died of pneumonia a few days later. C struggled with self-doubt throughout his life, and few recognized his talent and contribution to the world of art until after he died. His early adult years were marked by a rebellion from the faith of his youth, but later in life he returned to that faith, partly through the encouragement of his sister. An artist friend and fellow Christian wrote, see that he had found only depression, scorn, and exhaustion, dissatisfaction, and death. One day there would be public glory for the unshaken effort of this superior intelligence. But the supreme hope was C's faith. C was a Christian. Surely in a better world he will find recompense for the life he offered, with the sublime of self-abnegation of a martyr. C himself considered God's own handiwork the inspiration and measure of his efforts. His reverence and love for the Creator, the original art, is evident in C's words. When I judge my art, I take my painting and put it next to a God-made object like a tree or a flower. If it clashes, it's not art. Amen. Hey, that's a good. I've read this one before, but every time I reread them, I always get more out of it than I did the time before. But this right here is an example of somebody. He didn't get recognition whenever he was he was alive, when he was on this earth. And most of the time, that happens many times with people who have God-given talents. And, just because of the way the world works, it's the same thing like in the art world, I would imagine, as any other thing, like a musician, like an actor or whatever. You're not always going to get recognition for your the calling on your life. So, the best thing that we can do is to continue to do what we feel God has called us to do, and do it with a smile. It doesn't matter how many people, give you recognition, or how many people, or how many people that understand that, it's your calling from God. Not everybody's going to understand, and you may not get recognition, but you know what? Go through life, and, as I always say, one plants, one waters, and God gives the increase. We may not get the recognition we deserve, but you know what? When we get to heaven, God is the one that we need to be worried about recognition with. And I myself, and I fall short every day. I pray every day, that I make somebody smile, and I live a life pleasing unto the Lord in all my thoughts and in my actions. You see, that's what people get confused is they think that they can act one way in front of this person and act another way in front of someone else. And you can, but you know what? You're living a life of that's not sincere and honest. Be yourself in front of everybody. Do what you feel God led you to do. Doesn't matter if people make fun of you either. Just keep at it. Stay close with the Lord. And don't worry about what people think. All right, guys. Love y'all. Have a blessed Tuesday. And may God's peace be with you. Bye-bye.